Okay, everyone, what we're going to do today is have a discussion on margin and short selling. Margin is basically financing a trade. So here's how we're going to finance it. Broker call loan rate. You learned that in the interest rates section. There's prime rate, there's Fed fund rate, there's discount rate, there's broker call loan rate. Broker call loan rate may be 3 to 5%. This is what the bank charges the brokerage firm for your trades. The brokerage firm is not financing your deal. The exchange is not financing your deal. You're putting up 50% at least, for, which is regulation T, right? Regulation T equals 50%. But the brokerage firm can say, okay, here's the list of all the securities that the Federal Reserve says we can margin, but we don't want that one. We don't like that one. And on this one, it's 60%. On this one, it's 70%. Whatever they want to do. They cannot make it easier. They cannot say 45% on something not on the list or on anything on the list. 50% is the minimum. And when we're talking about margin, we're talking about the equity that they have to bring to the table. The customer has to bring in. Okay, so for the test, consider everything 50%. But for your customers, understand that they could eliminate some of the stocks, saying they're not going to permit that. The brokerage firm has that right, or increase the percentage. So now we need to figure out, now that broker call rate, to the broker it's 3 to 4%, maybe 5 or 6, who knows what the interest rates are at the time. But to the customer, oh, you can figure they double it, okay? Easiest way to say it is they're going to mark it up too. The brokerage firm is going to mark it up to you, the customer. And then it's going to depend on how much you're borrowing. The interest rate will go down if you're going to borrow more money. You know, maybe up to 100,000 or up to 50,000 being borrowed, the rate is 9.99%. Then maybe it goes down to 9.25 if you're going to do up to 50 to 100,000, and then, you know, the scale's going to go down. So let's take a look at a typical trade. And I'm going to work this as we go. I'm not on script here or anything. So I'm going to work it out as you have to work it out, the test. So your customer is going to buy 500 shares XYZ at 30. So the whole deal is going to be $15,000, right? $15,000. You have to pony up $7,500 as equity. So here's how we do it. Take a look at doing get used to doing these T accounts. And DR is debit register. Okay, this is going to be the long market value. You're long, you're buying, right? You're buying the shares. The total value is 15,000. You're borrowing 7,500. Your equity is 7,500. One of the questions that they're going to ask is there a margin call, a maintenance call, on the security once the price adjusts? So in a buy, long market, you want the price to go up. You lose equity if it goes down. So let's figure it out at 25. 25. this is always going to be the same. I don't have to readjust that. You owe $7,500. But at 25, let's do the math. 500 shares at 25. That's 2,500 plus 10,000. So 12,500. Now, the market value is 12,500 at 25. Now we got to see what the equity is and what the requirement is. Does he need to do it? Looking at this, in my experience, I know he doesn't have a margin call. But we have to mark it to the market. So we have to do Regulation T all over again to figure out the equity and that. So the equity is basically subtract that, or subtract what is owed from the long market. And how much does he have? Okay, now he has 5,000 in equity. But what's the maintenance requirement? Is he okay? What do? We have to take this in half to find Reg T. So Reg T is 6250. A margin call would occur at 3125. So all we're doing is taking it in half and taking it in half. We take it in half first to find Regulation T. And then we take this in half to find the call level. What's his margin maintenance level? He has plenty of equity. His excess equity is excess equity. When we talk about SMA, special memorandum account, is equal to excess equity in the beginning. But then it adjusts depending on what happens in the account. So your SMA is going to be here or above. Okay? Because here's what happens. What's your SMA right now? Excess equity over the margin maintenance. The margin maintenance would have been half and half of this. So 3750 SMA right in the beginning, right on the top. Okay? So you could withdraw. SMA means you could withdraw that dollar for dollar or buy securities dollar for dollar, 3750, and still be okay. You cannot use SMA if it's going to cause a maintenance call, a margin maintenance call. But look at what happened to the equity. It went down, right? Because, well, here's the excess equity is difference between here and there. It used to be 3750, equal to the SMA. But when the market went down, the excess equity goes down, but the SMA does not. The only time SMA goes down is if you buy securities or withdraw money. Keep that in mind. SMA, special memorandum account. It's buying power, it's purchasing power. That's all you need to know. If you try to overthink it, you're going to screw it up. Don't do it. SMA goes down when you buy securities or when you withdraw money. It doesn't go down if the market value goes down, if the price goes down. Equity goes down. Okay, so now we see there's no problem. There's no problem here. He has more in equity than the maintenance level, margin maintenance call level. But if it goes down to 20, what happens when it goes down to 20? Let's do it all over. Okay? If it goes to 20, let's do the math. 20 times 500 is 10,000. Now, he only has 2,500 equity. Okay? At $20, 500 shares, $10,000. He still owes the 7,500. This is his equity. Pretty straightforward math. We're adding, subtracting, that's all. But you need to know the scheme of things, right? Now, he has originally 3,750 SMA and excess equity was 3,750 in the beginning. But excess equity is pretty much shot. The market went down 5,000. There is no excess equity now. We got to see if he needs to pony up any money. So market value at 10,000, what's Reg T on 5,000? If you were going to finance 10,000, you would have to pony up $5,000. Okay? Your market value is 10,000. Your equity is equal to that. What is your maintenance level? Half of this. He does not have to pony up any money, but if it goes down $1, he does. Okay? If it goes anywhere below $20, he's going to get a maintenance call, a margin call, and have to pony up money. That's margin. Okay? Let's take a look at short selling if I have enough time on the video. These videos are about 20 minutes. I don't let them, I time them for that. I don't want them to be any more. So a short sale means you're selling somebody else's stock. They signed a waiver letting them borrow their stock to sell it short, which is absolutely freaking stupid. Don't do it in your own account. Don't let them sign, don't sign over that loan consent form. Don't do it. You're just asking somebody to, you're giving permission to somebody to drop the market price on your stock. That's stupid, okay? But people make money this way. The government's not smart enough to wise up, and neither are investors, but your clients should. And hopefully I'm getting a campaign where we can stop it. Simply because it helps perpetuate market drops. Until the government's going to stop it when we have a market crisis, then we as investors have to stop it. Otherwise, we're going to have these nasty drops and everybody's going to get hurt far more than they should. So a short sale, let's say you're going to short 500 shares, XYZ, at 30. Once again, the same process is happening. 15,000. How much do you owe? 15,000. Or you owe 7,500. The short market value is 15,000. Currently, that's how much you have to pony up to buy back. Because when you short something, eventually you have to buy it back in the market, and you're hoping the market goes down so that you can buy it back at a lower price and keep the difference, right? This is your equity. So your total account value is 22,500. That's the account value. What happens if it goes down? If the price goes down, you're profitable. But if the price goes up, you could require more money going in there. Let's say it goes to 40. At 40, you owe 20,000. 40 times 500, $20,000. That's how much you're obligated to put in. How much is in your account? 22,500. That's your equity. Now your equity is down to 2,500. You no longer have short market requirement then. You have an obligation to pony up 20 grand in that account. So margin now is 30, your margin level is 30%. You're going to get a margin call at 30%. Okay? You're in trouble. You got to pony up money. You don't have enough equity in there. Here, before, remember I just took half and I took half? That was the easiest way to find 30% or 25% call. You'd take it for regulation T. You don't have to worry about that. Here, look at this. 30%, 0.30 of 20,000, that's 6,000 requirement in your equity. You don't have 6,000. Okay? You have 2,500 in equity. So if you want this deal to go through and maintain your position, you have to come up with $3,500. You're going to get a call for a margin call for $3,500. Okay? That's short selling. You're profitable when the market goes up. If this thing went to, or market goes down, if the market goes up on the price, you're obligated to buy back. They could call that stock back anytime they want. They don't have to borrow money. They sold your money, the stock you borrowed, and put it in your account. You're actually also earning interest on that account value here. On a daily basis, you're earning one day's interest on this. As the market adjusts, so does your interest that's due you. But keep in mind, you also have an obligation to repay that. To close your position, you have to buy the stock at this value. Okay? If the price goes down and instead of being at 30, it's at 15, then you only have to come up with $7,500, and you had how much in the account in the beginning? 22,500. Now you got $15,000 in equity instead of the, how much you had to come up with there. 7,500. Okay, so let's take a look at, and this is basically the sale proceeds, and that equals the account value. Okay, that's what you're getting the interest on. Some of it is your money, some of it is the money there. That's margin. That's short selling.